Throwed the moon pie wrapper in the garbage and swallowed the last 2 bites right quick. Jumped in the vehicle, ran up the road, jumped out, and went sliding off down the ridge. Looky, who we have here? Well, that's Henrietta. And don't you look, she's got a wingwood collar around her neck. I once thought that was a beard sticking out. Don't you just look. You gonna fool him too, huh? Ah, that's a good girl. You gonna fool old boy, ain't you? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm standing here this evening on one of the Mosses Creek canal bridges, and it's just looking downstream right here. Mosses, of course, is a very, very freshwater stream. It's all spring fed. It's extremely cold water. Many folks, especially the older generations, they will tell you that Mosses Creek has some of the coldest known water in the whole entire country. I'm going to see how the old wingwood collar sounds echoing off down the creek bottom here this evening. Man, that was one of my old hunting partners there, Mr. Dale O'Gwen. I shot that turkey that he's holding. Matter of fact, we was sitting in the house at the kitchen table with a landowner and his wife one morning, drinking coffee and eating a moon pie, late morning. And Dale there, holding the turkey, raised up and looked out the guy's kitchen window and seen a turkey walking up a field behind his house. He raised up with binoculars, and he said, man, he said, look what a beard on that thing. We jumped up, throwed the coffee cups down, throwed the moon pie wrapper in the garbage and swallowed the last 2 bites right quick, jumped in the vehicle, ran up the road, jumped out, and went sliding off down the ridge and got down to the end of the field. And that turkey walked right into us just after a couple calls there. Well, I shot the turkey. And Dale told me, he said, well, based on just how this turned out, I think we better carry this one back up there and show it to him. So we went back up there. I walked around there toting the turkey and laid the turkey down at the back doorstep. That guy's wife came out on the porch with a broom in her hand. And she said, oh, she said, the beautiful gobbler. She said, I heard him when he gobbled this morning. All right, I used to know a guy years ago that this is one of the just couple of turkey calls that he ever carried with him in the woods. And of course, you know, that's a terrapin hole. And this is a regular peg. That's a peg I made. Top of it's made out of, I believe, a piece of either sourwood or dogwood. Now, all he would do is, most time, he wouldn't do nothing but cluck. especially if he got close to a turkey. But he would use like a push stroke, and he didn't put nothing in the terrapin hole. He just left it natural. And he would go against the side wall in here and just not do nothing but apply a little pressure and just cluck. That's about all he'd do in many cases. And of course, he was the terrapin hole man, really the only guy I ever run into in my part of the country that done that. But he said he really, really believed in that, not doing nothing but just doing that little clucking like that, especially when he got close to a turkey. All right, I'm gonna just give you an idea of what that I make some of my custom wing woods from. Not all the time, but sometimes, or some of the calls. Now that, especially your older generation folks, will recognize that. That is a turpentine pine knot. What it is or how you find one of them, is you find where a pine tree has died. And sometimes they're still standing, sometimes they've rotted and they fell and they're laying on the ground. And that's just the rich heart that's left. After the outer part of the body of the tree rots off, it leaves just that rich heart. And that is a real striped up brownish yellow looking color on the inside. And many of the old timers years ago used to use it for fire starter, because you can take just one little sliver of this right here off, and even just that little piece like that, and just touch a lighter to that and it'll light. But people used to use it for fire starter many years ago, and I've used it myself, of course, cut it up in small pieces. But what I'll do is see, I can take like this section right here, and I can make a wing wood collar out of that thing that'll come out along right there. And I can tell you, it would look literally amazing. It really would. I made a box call out of this stuff back years ago. Really, really swirled up looking grain. It looked almost like a call was made out of marble when I got done with it. And I actually made the call for my grandfather. Still got the call. And also, I turned down 10 grand for the call as well. So the guy told me, he said, well, you can just make another one and sell the one you got to me. But yeah, I could do that, but it wouldn't be the same call. It wouldn't be the one I made for my grandfather. But it's just kind of amazing where I can get a wing wood call from sometime. Like I say, I can just clip that thing right out of that, right there. And I may make one out of that this next coming week. It would be an unbelievable looking call, I can guarantee you that now. All right, here's a little wing broke off the side of it. As you can see, it's that real weathered gray looking color. But where it's fresh, see, you can see that real rich yellow and brown. You see that real dark brown, pale reddish looking color right on the tip top of it there. That is pure pine turpentine. All right, I'm gonna just show you what I'm talking about when it comes to lighting this stuff. This is like an old-fashioned natural match is what it is. And you see that, and that just starts just boiling. Now that's not going to go out until it burns this whole entire thing plumb out the other end up here. That's why the old timers used it, because once it was lit, it won't go out until it all burns up. And they'd take this and they would stick this up underneath their other kindling or their firewood, and it would get the fire started before it ever went out, just like a old-fashioned match. And of course, it ain't gonna go out, like I said, until you blow it out. And the smell is just unreal. But another thing you can do as well is, if you find where somebody maybe has cut a limb off of a pine tree with a chainsaw, right where that limb was cut off, sometimes you can find some of that liquid rosin kind of set up, kind of piled up around the edge of that cut, like again where the limb's been cut off of a tree. You can scrape that off and melt it down and make you a little mold or something out of some tin foil and pour it up in a little bar, like a little mini bar, like a bar of soap, and break you off just a couple little crumbs of that, or chips, and rub it on the bottom side of the lid, on the underside of the lid on a box turkey call. Yeah, it's gonna make it work, and it's gonna last for a long while. Now I'm talking about underneath the bottom where you'd put chalk on the bottom of that lid. You take and you put that rosin under there. Yeah, it's gonna create friction, and it's gonna make it work. On top of how available the wingwood collar is, if you happen to be some type of a supplier or a retailer or whatever it might be out there across this entire country, you can get in touch with me. You're welcome to at any time, and I will give you more details and information, including wholesale pricing or whatever there that it might be for, if you're interested in stocking the wingwood collar. So until next time, I'm Garen Carlin, Mosses Creek Outdoors Hunting, Tennessee.